If you guys have been keeping up with the World of Outlaws lately, then you'll know that there is a ton of talent out there. You got Brad Sweet, Carson Macedo, Donnie Schatz, Logan Schuchart, J-Mac, the list goes on and on. However, in the end, it always seems like Brad Sweet comes out on top, as he's on his way for his 5th World of Outlaws championship in a row. But if you look at the point standings for the past couple years, you'll notice that one specific driver has been giving the Big Cat a run for his money, and that man is David Gravel. At the very young age of just 6, David began racing quarter midgets with the Silver City Quarter Midget Club, obtaining over 50 victories and several championships in his quarter midget career. As David was getting older, he would move up to micro sprints, racing them for around 3 years before moving up to sprint cars in 2008, competing with the URC, obtaining 2 victories, becoming the youngest driver to win a race with a series in over 60 years. This impressive performance crowned him the 360 Rookie of the Year. Just a year later in 2009, David had moved up to a 410, competing with the All-Star Circuit of Champions, which he had gotten 5 top 10s and 1 top 5. The year following, he would earn his first ever 410 victory at Limaland during the Ohio Speed Week, then winning overall in points, claiming the Speed Week title. This, along with 10 top 5s, would place him 3rd in points. However, 2011 would be even more meaningful to David. On October 22, 2011, the World of Outlaws were set to race at the Talladega Short Track. David had competed in around 9 to 10 outlaw races through the previous 2 seasons, with his highest placements being 7th. Although in the beginning of the 2011 season, he had finished in 5th at Pike County, but that accomplishment would be diminished very quickly after his very impressive victory at Talladega. Through his 2011 and 2012 seasons, he was heavily involved with the All-Stars, competing in a good majority of races with the series, racking up 1 more victory and 26 top 5s, placing 3rd in points for those 2 seasons, same as he did in 2010. In the second race of the 2013 Outlaw schedule, Bill Rose broke his left arm, resulting in him sitting out a good majority of the 2013 season. So David was originally set to fill in for Bill through at least the next 5 races, but ended up racing with the team until Bill was able to return. That season he got 2 feature victories, including a Knoxville Nationals prelim night feature. This, along with racing for a competitive outlaw team, really put David on the map. While starting off the 2014 season without a full-time ride, he quickly found one at Roth Motorsports, actually claiming a victory at Eldora just 2 races in with Roth, then again 2 races later at Wilmot. However, the racing community really got to see what David can do at the end of the season.
Into turn 1, Lucas Wolf to the top, David Gravel down low, they'll stay side by side. Gravel has the lead for the moment, Wolf with a run on the top.
Smith ducks low in 4, he's going for the lead. Stevie Smith inside, takes the lead.
Smith grabs the lead on lap number 28. Gravel back to the top side in 3 and 4, this time by 8 laps to go in the National Open. Gravel hanging right there with Stevie Smith.
Gravel better in 3 and 4, Smith has been better in 1 and 2. This time Gravel makes a good run. Gravel all over Smith now into turn number 3.
Smith down low, Gravel to the cushion, trying to drive around the outside of the 51S. Smith moves up to block and keep the lead there, nose to tail, down the front straightaway. Oh, there's contact! Gravel and Smith get together and Stevie Smith spins!
Smith keeps going!
Keeps going, we stay green! Smith has fallen back to 7th, but David Gravel now leads it. David Gravel to the top, Donnie Schatz down low into 3 and 4. David Gravel wins the Williams Grove National Open with Donnie Schatz finishing 2nd.
He continued racing for Roth in the beginning of the 2015 season, but unfortunately didn't meet the team's expectations, and was fired after the West Coast swing, then literally 30 minutes later was hired by Destiny Motorsports. He raced the remainder of the season with a 7 car, gathering 10 top 5 finishes, with his highest placements being 2nd place. Fortunately for David, this is currently his final season without a victory. In early November of 2015, David signed with CJB for the 2016 season, which was also the year that CJB went from the 51 to the 5. His 2016 season was phenomenal, picking up 9 victories and 46 top 5 finishes, also claiming his first ever Silver Cup title, finishing the season 3rd in points. He raced with CJB for the following 2 seasons, picking up 23 victories in a span of those 2 years, with 18 of those being in his 2017 season. That year he was so close to winning the Knoxville Nationals, leading 22 laps until having mechanical issues, then quickly redeeming himself later that year, winning his second and final Williams Grove National Open. After the unfortunate passing of Jason Johnson midway through the 2018 season, JJR needed someone special to carry on the legacy of the 41, which of course was David Gravel. To say David carried on the legacy is a complete understatement. His 2019 season is described as a storybook season. That year he claimed 12 victories, including his second Silver Cup, the Jason Johnson Classic, and of course, the granddaddy of them all.
From the drop in the green, David Gravel wins the Knoxville Nationals! David Gravel is a Knoxville Nationals champion!
Now looking back, the things David and the Jason Johnson Racing crew accomplished almost seemed too good to be true. It was the first time in 3 years that the 41 was in the winner's circle at Knoxville. That and winning the first ever Jason Johnson Classic, it was just a very emotional year for the team. David's 2020 season was very interesting. Even though he was having a decent year with the Outlaws, he placed 6th in points. What made his 2020 season so interesting was the fact that he had competed in a couple races with the NASCAR Truck Series, earning a 10th place finish at Michigan. Not only did he compete with the NASCAR Truck Series, he did have one race with the ARCA Series, with a 12th place finish at Daytona. However, asphalt racing wasn't the only thing he tried out that year, as he had also competed in his first ever race with the USAC Silver Crown Series at the Illinois State Fairgrounds, starting dead last, then finishing in 2nd. In 2021, David began racing for Big Game Motorsports, which he is still currently racing for. Through his 21 and 22 seasons, the battle between him and Brad Sweet for the championship were starting to flourish. At the end of the 2021 season, David was only 80 points away from snatching the title, then 48th the year following. As I'm writing this video, the Outlaws have 8 races left this season, with 4 of those being the World Finals. David is currently 68 points behind Brad Sweet, so it is still possible that he can win the championship. It has been a huge year for David. He has racked up 10 wins this season, including the High Bank Nationals earlier this year. Then, just around 2 weeks ago, David won the Commonwealth Clash, that being his first ever High Limit Series victory. According to the World of Outlaws website, David has around 86 Outlaw victories, so at the end of the season, he could possibly be in the top 10 of all-time wins. David's in his prime, and he's only gonna get better and better. It may not be this year, it may or may not be next year, but if he keeps up this consistency, he'll eventually get his first title. Not only is he one of the most significant drivers in this era, he has also made a revolutionary change in the social media world of sprint car racing. Ever since joining YouTube in 2019, David has documented a good majority of his races, showing the life of an outlaw driver, which is still hardly ever done, with the exception of Tanner Holmes of course. To sum it all up, David Gravel has had a very successful career, but I think he's gonna have an even brighter future down the road. Even though he's been racing for over 15 years, he has remained consistent throughout the last decade, and that is why I think he'll be an outlaw champion. This is Sprint Car Nation, and I'll see you guys next time.